They never told you this, that positive thinking is not about ignoring reality. It is about rewriting it with the fire of your spirit, with the breath of your belief, with the mind of a warrior who knows that the battlefield is not outside, it's within. They told you to just be positive, but they never told you that positive thinking is not a surface smile, not a shallow affirmation, not a motivational quote stuck to your mirror. It is a deep discipline, a revolution inside the mind, a sacred practice forged in the fires of doubt, pain, failure, and still, you rise. Krishna never said the path would be easy. He stood in the chariot with Arjuna, not to tell him to run, but to teach him to see. Because positive thinking, real positive thinking, is not blind. It sees the enemy, it sees the struggle, it sees the uncertainty, but it chooses a different response. It chooses truth. It chooses power over panic. It chooses faith over fear. And it moves, it acts, it decides. What they didn't tell you is this: your thoughts are not just passive clouds floating through the sky of your mind. They are architects. They lay bricks. They build futures. They bend the unseen fabric of the universe around your expectations. And every time you speak defeat, doubt, scarcity, you are building a prison from the inside out. But when you rise each morning and say, not out of delusion, but out of decision, I will win today. I will conquer the weakness in me. I will serve something greater than fear. You are laying a foundation of power, and power listens. See, Krishna spoke of dharma, of righteous duty, and your first duty is to command your inner world. Because if your mind is chaotic, your destiny will be too. Lincoln knew this when he failed in business, lost elections, buried loved ones, and still led a broken nation to unity. Because he didn't surrender to despair, he surrendered to purpose. And purpose rewired his thoughts. Purpose gave meaning to the pain, and that is what makes positive thinking unshakable. When it's tied to vision, when it's forged by clarity, you must see the storm and still believe in the sun. You must walk into the darkness and still carry light in your chest. That is what Krishna taught on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He didn't say, everything will be fine. He said, do not tremble, rise, fight with me in your heart. Because the real victory isn't out there, it's inside. You want to know why your life doesn't change? Because you think positivity is a mood, but it's a muscle. It's built in pain, in failure, in the 1,000 silent mornings when you refuse to quit. It's not passive, it's an act of defiance, an act of creation. Edison knew it. 10,000 failures lit the world. Not because he hoped, but because he believed. Because his vision was louder than his excuses. Positive thinking is this: the ability to look at a closed door and still reach for the handle. The power to see nothing and still build everything. It's not about pretending the world is perfect. It's knowing you were born to change it. You were not placed here to be crushed under the weight of worry. You were placed here to become the kind of force that bends reality with will, vision, and grace. And that begins with your thoughts. Because before you ever build a fortune, before you ever lead an empire, before your name is remembered, you must win in silence. You must master the unseen. You must speak life when no one is listening. Krishna whispered to Arjuna in the stillness of war, not with noise, but with knowing. And so must you. Do you know what real positivity sounds like? It's not loud, it's not hype. It's the voice that says, I will rise. After life knocks you flat, it's the whisper that says, try again, when the world says, you're done. It's the discipline to focus on what you can build, while others weep over what they've lost. And make no mistake, the world will try to break you. You will face failure, betrayal, loneliness. The crops will dry up. The money won't come. The door will close. And in that moment, you will be tempted to speak defeat. Don't. Hold your tongue like a warrior holds his blade. Guard your mind like a king guards his throne. Because the moment you speak limitation, you breathe life into it. Speak life instead. Not because you are naive, but because you are powerful. When a seed is planted, it does not look like a tree, but it is one, in potential, in time. So it is with every vision you carry, with every dream that aches to be born. Nurture it with belief. Water it with action. Protect it with thought. The truth they never told you is this: positive thinking is not wishful thinking. It is willful thinking. It is not a promise that life will go your way. It is a vow that no matter what comes, you will walk your way through life like a soul on fire. So when fear knocks, let faith answer. When doubt creeps in, drown it in devotion. And when the darkness rises, shine louder. Because no matter how many shadows surround you, they cannot drown a soul that has remembered its light. Krishna lives in that remembrance, in the clarity that your thoughts are sacred, that your words are spells, and that your mindset is your most divine weapon. So wield it like a warrior, because what lives in your mind will soon live in your life. You see, no king builds a palace without a blueprint. No sculptor shapes stone without a vision. So why do we try to build our lives with thoughts scattered like dust in the wind? Every morning you wake up with a choice: to feed the fear or feed the fire, to build yourself up or break yourself down with worry, doubt, and comparison, to live by design or by default. And here's the hard truth: most people choose the default. They let the noise of the world become the voice in their head. They let failure become their identity. They let fear make their decisions. And then they wonder why they feel so powerless. But not you. Because now you know you are not your circumstances. You are not your bank account. You are not your past. You are not the pain you've carried in silence for years. You are the thinker of your thoughts, the builder of your beliefs, the author of your inner dialogue, and therefore the creator of your destiny. This is what Krishna meant when he said, "You are your own best friend and your own worst enemy." He didn't mean it metaphorically. He meant it literally. The battle is always internal first. Even when the world turns cold, even when people leave, even when the path is unclear, if your inner world is strong, you will stand. If your thoughts are aligned with your purpose, you will walk through storms and never drown. This is why resilience begins with the tongue, with what you say when no one is watching, with how you speak to yourself when things fall apart. Because your inner voice becomes your outer strength. And when your inner voice says, "I am enough, I will rise again. There is more in me than the world sees. I walk with faith, not fear," then your posture changes, your energy changes, your reality shifts. Why? Because the universe was built to respond to alignment. It listens not to your wishes, but to your inner vibration. It follows not your begging, but your belief. So stop begging for better days. Start building them, thought by thought, word by word, act by deliberate act. Do not curse the darkness. Become the light. Let every setback remind you of your strength. Let every heartbreak teach you grace. Let every closed door redirect your purpose. Because here's what the old lady in the story knew. She didn't have wealth. She didn't have a family. She didn't have a perfect life. But she had something greater: inner peace, gratitude, and a mind trained to find the divine in the dust. That is positive thinking, not delusion, but devotion, not pretending pain doesn't exist, but deciding it won't rule you. You see, the greatest power you will ever hold is the ability to choose your response, to rise when life says sit, to sing when life says weep, to love when the world offers hate, to believe when every voice around you says give up. Because that belief is not ordinary. It is sacred. It is divine. It is the echo of Krishna's whisper within you saying, "You were made for this. Keep going." And don't confuse silence for absence. Sometimes Krishna doesn't move the mountain. He strengthens your legs. He doesn't calm the storm. He awakens your courage. He doesn't give you answers. He gives you vision. But it all begins with how you think. Your mind is your temple. Guard it. Your thoughts are your prayers. Speak them with intention. Your beliefs are your offerings. Make them worthy of your soul. Because the world is not waiting to bless the broken version of you. It's waiting for the version who knows who they are. The version who walks with spiritual swagger, who speaks why, who carries Krishna, not in an idol, but in every thought, every breath, every decision. So ask yourself today, what are you thinking? Is it lifting you or limiting you? Is it building your faith or feeding your fear? Is it creating a destiny worthy of you? Or burying your potential under layers of self-doubt? You were not born to shrink. You were not born to blend in. You were not born to live half a life because someone, somewhere told you to be realistic. Krishna didn't come to teach realism. He came to awaken the God within man, the sleeping warrior, the calm within chaos, the joy in the fire. So think boldly, believe stubbornly, act courageously. Because one thought, one shift, one armor, I choose to see light today, can start a ripple that turns into a revolution. You may be tired. You may be broken. You may be in the valley. But if you can change the way you think in this moment, you can change everything. So stop waiting for motivation. Start mastering your mind. Because that's the truth they never told you. Positive thinking is not a luxury. It is a spiritual law. When you think light, you invite light. When you think hope, you open doors. When you think like a god touched by Krishna himself, you walk like a storm that cannot be stopped. And that is where your true life begins.